Last week, I spoke with you about why I am still a Unitarian Universalist after 20 years. And I heard that there were some good conversations during coffee hour, and that excites me because I know that you were talking about why you are still a Unitarian Universalist. And I hope you'll continue that conversation today. Now, before I get started, I just want to say that I want to start where I left off. And eventually, I'm going to talk about theology and practice, the theology and practice of being a Unitarian Universalist. But first, I said something that I want to clarify because, I do sometimes contradict myself. We all do. I like to quote Walt Whitman. He said, I contain multitudes. And so contradiction and contrast is where we grow our souls. And I find that it is in that contradiction and contrast that we learn and grow as human beings. So you'll find it interesting that what I said essentially was that when I became a Unitarian Universalist, I did not become a UU specifically to do social justice work. It wasn't part of my tradition. I learned about social justice when I became a UU. And I know it's important, but I said that I became a UU because I needed the support of a religious community. And I said that too often UUs come to church to tell others what they need to be doing inside and outside the congregation. What they need to be doing socially, so to speak, social justice wise. Uh, Basically, I was saying that more introspection as opposed to extrospection was needed. But let me be clear: to be an authentic Unitarian Universalist, you certainly contain multitudes and contradictions, but we also put our theology into practice. In other words, we need both. We need introspection and extrospection. We need both to be balanced human beings, because that is, as it is written, faith without works is dead. Belief without actions is just belief. Our faith should be challenging us, humbling us, and inspiring us to be the change, to live the change, and to make the change. And of course, there's a change shortage. That's a joke. We live the change, be the change, and make the change. And we do this, of course, with our Unitarian Universalist lens, seeing ourselves in every living soul, which keeps us humble. Theology is about faith, practice is about works. We need them both. And that's what I'm talking about today, as I said. But before I go into that, I want to summarize what I said last Sunday as a way to help you remember why I am still a Unitarian Universalist after 20 years. I said that I'm still a UU because I believe in our principles and sources. I said that I'm a UU because it allows me to answer yes to life and to living, that I'm a UU because it saved my life by giving me purpose, that it made me a more resilient human being, that I am a more humane being, that it has grown my soul spiritually speaking, and that it is an original. And there is no place like this faith, no religion like us in the world. I remain a UU today because I have a lot of time invested. I'm still a Unitarian Universalist because it gives me space for abstractions, contradictions, and evolvement. For my message today, I add, and I alluded to it a few seconds ago, I am a UU because of its theology and practice. Its faith and works have been a vital part of my personal growth and spiritual transformation. So let's talk about theology and practice. What is theology? Theology is the study of God, the study of the Word of God, the Logos. But if we change God to good, uh, One could say, from a Unitarian Universalist perspective, it is the study of good words that heal and reconcile and save humanity and build other people up. That's my version of Unitarian Universalism. It's about what it means to be a good person, a humane being. What then is practice? Well, athletes go to practice to get better, to learn. Doctors have a practice, even though it's kind of hard to think about doctors having a practice when they heal us and help us to get better. But they also learn in the process through every ailment and sickness, through every time someone gets better. A doctor is learning more and more about their practice, about what they're doing. It's making them better at their game. So practice is an interesting word, isn't it? Lawyers also have a practice. The word practice defined is, quote, the actual application or use of an idea, belief, or method, as opposed to a theory or idea. Basically, it's action. Practice is also defined as doing something again and again in order to become better at it. It's scary to think that physicians are practicing on us, as I said, but they get better. But it's in a way, it's true, right? It's all a practice. As Unitarian Universalists, we put our faith into action. We put our good words into action so that there can be healing and reconciliation and love manifest in our world. And we practice using our God words or our good words, our theology, over and over until we get it right. As Unitarian Universalists, we practice putting good words into actionable activities. In the 1600s, Unitarian Christians argued over the unity versus the Trinity of God. That's where the name Unitarian comes from. I'm sure you knew that. Uni meaning one, as opposed to Trinitarian meaning three, one God, Unitarian. But today, we know that Unitarian basically believes in, when you say the word Unitarian, it's talking about a believer in the oneness of everything. Or we could say one who believes in unity. This is more of a postmodern way of saying what a Unitarian is, because we're no longer liberal or even fundamentalist Christians. Our tradition has evolved over the years. Similarly, the Christian Universalist part of us that emerges in the 1700s believed that, there were those who were saved and those who were condemned. That was Calvinism, but they believed that all were saved, that there was universal salvation. Everybody goes to heaven. And today, we have to redefine that because of evolution and time. We could look at universal salvation as the interdependent web of existence. So Unitarian and Universalism, to me, basically say the same thing. And if you combine the first and the seventh principle, that's basically what Unitarian Universalism is. And so someone asks you, what is a Unitarian Universalist? You say, well, I believe a UU is one who believes in what is good. I believe a UU believes in basically two things: the worth and dignity of all people and the interdependent web of existence of which we are a part. And then there's, of course, our eighth principle. Can't forget that, because we believe in the first and the seventh principle, which calls us to put our faith into action. And then our eighth principle says we put our faith into action to dismantle racism and other oppressions, because we believe all have worth and dignity and all are connected. And so if one is oppressed, all are oppressed. That is how we connect our principles together, our first, seventh, and eighth principle. This is our theology and practice. Our Minister Emeritus, Reverend Dr. Fred Muir, in his Berry Street lecture in 2012, he named this among other things. In the reading this morning, um, he put forth that there are four pillars in Unitarian Universalism as the foundation for our beloved community. You can see that slide back up on your screen. Fred said that multiculturalism, environmental justice, sexual and family values, and right relationships are the four pillars of our justice seeking and justice making ecclesiology and are the foundation on which every Unitarian Universalist beloved community is built. That is, if we believe in unity and universality, then we believe that differences enhance life. Diversity is good. Racism blinds us from seeing God or that which is good. And we are one body. And so, what we do to various environments, environmental justice, whether that environment is social, political, geological, we end up doing to ourselves. We believe that one's body, like the earth, is a temple and should be loved and cared for. We also believe that there is such thing as a healthy sexual relationship with yourself and others that is built on values that unify and embrace the diversity and humanity, uh, that embraces sexuality and orientation. And we believe, as UUs, that we need to put this into action through development of right relationships, creating solid interpersonal relations with others based in mutuality and reciprocity. Relationships that are based in equality and equity because we're all God's people, or we are all a part of the human family. This is where I like to say that emotional literacy is needed to maximize and maintain healthy relationships. Emotional literacy allows us to see ourselves in the other because all is one. Reverend Fred used the word ecclesiology. That's another seminary word, and it's a theological word. It's a God word. It's a good word. Ecclesiology, from a Unitarian Universalist perspective, is about the nature and structure of the church or congregation. I think Fred is saying that we here at UUCA are structured around right relationships, around sexual expression, around diversity and multiculturalism, and respect for ourselves and our planet. Ultimately, we believe this is what love looks like. These are the four pillars that hold us up, and we put this love into action inside and outside of our congregation. Now, to keep us on this path, we need a spiritual practice. Or if you don't like that, a better way to say this is we need a routine that encourages us to live our best lives. So we come to this place, UUCA, to develop our belief, understanding, and practice to be humane beings. We come to this congregation to grow our souls. We come to grow our belief in what we value, and we come to understand better who we are and what we're called to do. And we come to church because we can practice with each other in a safe space, in a challenging space, in a community that holds our values and truths as sacred. Reverend Fred alluded to this in his reading. He said, each of these pillars requires a footing in which to be placed. This footing can be composed of policy, curriculum, preaching, bylaws, workshops, all the myriad of ways that make vision a reality. With a promise of mutual trust and support, we can covenant to stay at the table in order to contribute and become the story we yearn to write. In essence, this means that part of the practice or work happens in how we govern ourselves. It happens within our polity, within our policies, within our bylaws, and we worked really hard on this over the years. The practice is encouraged by the ministers through our talks and through preaching on Sunday mornings. We talk about these four pillars that have been named. The belief, the understanding, and practice happen when we have our religious education classes. We lift up these four areas and we grow from the various workshops that we have and the trainings that we hold to enhance and clarify what we value. This is how Unitarian Universalists put their faith into action. But there is one more thing. As I said, there's a lot of extrospection here, and we need some introspection, and that's just as important. So, another part of being a part of this faith community, being a Unitarian Universalist, is pausing and reflecting, contemplating and reflecting. We learn, we put what we learn into action, and then we pause to reflect on the lessons learned and to see where we can do better. This is the ongoing practice of being a Unitarian Universalist: action, reflection, learning, doing, being, all a constant and ongoing process of evolution. This is how we grow our souls as UUs. And I don't know anywhere else like this place, like this faith. I say that over and over because I'm still, after all these years, mesmerized by the comfort and safety that I feel in the Unitarian Church, a place that I can challenge my belief system. And after 20 years, it's still a faith that I have come to love with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength. But I want to summarize that I'm still a UU because our theology helps me practice using and putting good words into action. I'm still a UU because it has at least four pillars: multiculturalism, important for us; racial justice; environmental justice; uh, sexual and family values; and right relationships. These four pillars help us in our understanding of what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist, a believer in unity, a Universalist, a believer in interconnectedness. That's the first and the seventh principles. And that's why I'm still a UU, because I get to try again and again until I get it right. And sometimes we have to say, I'm sorry. We have to be held accountable to the hurt that we cause. But there's a song again playing in my head: though you've broken your vow 1,000 times, come, come, whoever, wherever you are, come, come. For this is a practice. We get to come back to practice. We may have had a bad workout. We may have thought about throwing in our membership. We may need to not go to the gym for a while, just take a break. But we come back to the practice. We come back and we get into the groove again with the workout, and we get back into our rhythm as a Unitarian Universalist, because our work is so important in maintaining the health of ourselves and our world. There's so much sickness and hatred today. So I hope you've enjoyed my last two sermons about why I'm a Unitarian Universalist. I must have named at least 20 reasons why I'm a Unitarian Universalist. And I wonder if you can start naming why you are a Unitarian Universalist. So here's some questions for you to think about for coffee hour. Why did you join a Unitarian Universalist church? Or why are you considering joining this congregation? Why are you still a member after all of these years? How would you describe Unitarian Universalism to your friends and family? Lots of good questions, maybe a few answers I gave you for coffee hour, but that's all I got for today. It's been a busy week. I'm glad to be able to share this message with you. I look forward to seeing you in person. Zoom is getting old, but I'm glad we've stayed connected. Blessings on this community. Thank you for your time this morning. Amen.